Hi everybody, here is Al-Arabic Kazakh National University in Almaty, Kazakhstan. I'm really happy to connect with you through this video, though I couldn't make visit to Spain to see you due to the coronavirus situations. All my plans to visit Spain were messed up. In the world, many people are so scared and are suffering from this pandemic, horrible disease. We are so lucky here in Kazakhstan. We don't have any impacted people yet, according to official statistics. However, the number of infected people in the world in Spain is growing every day in a huge scale. I'm so sorry. Please be careful, never get impacted by this coronavirus disease. Before we get started, let me make my face smaller, not to disturb to see this slide. My topic is vulnerable modern civilization and crisis of humanity. This pandemic disease we never met before is one kind of highest risks that leads into the destruction of human community. It is according to world authorized institution. We will see other more scenarios of catastrophes by this institution. Most notable thing among the scenarios is that highest risks come from human-made, not from natural disaster. In this regard, we need to ask what can make human more cooperative to cope up with this coming serious disaster. At the end of these lectures, I will recommend some ways to innovate our mindset because I believe that how we see the world could change the world differently. Let's see the human history in big pictures by Yuval Noah Harari. He's a historian in Israel. According to him, there are 4 steps of human civilization. In Stone Age, sapiens was nothing more than a marginalized being. Our ancient in that age always had to find out some shelter to hide. But sapiens has totally different story since having language. They were able to communicate each other, they were able to imagine something, and they were able to work collaboratively when they were getting food. With this ability, sapiens defeated all other human species such as, Neanderthals, Denisova, and Floresiensis. At that times, there are 5 or 6 human species at the same time with the Homo sapiens. They were all, the sapiens brothers, but they had been killed. They all gone. That's why on this planet there's only one human species, sapiens, remained. Let's see the era of agricultural evolution. In this era, population scale and unit of human society were getting bigger and bigger because they could get more enough food. In the industrial revolutions, there are 4 steps in this era. First step is sapiens began to use coal as fuel. It made people improve production and transportations much. And second steps, electricity was discovered. In third steps, people started to use computer. In 4 steps, we are living in these 4 steps of industrialization. What does ICT stand for? It is information, communication, technology. It's quite strong technology. Through this, the superhuman can be created. This technology will be combined biotechnology and AI technology and nanotechnology. Let's see what's happening in the world. High civilization gives us much benefits and pleasures. However, on the other hand, many unhappy things are happening. Let's see the Korean Peninsula. South Korea and North Korea have been divided for 70 years. Now, South Koreans are always threatened by North Korea's nuclear weapon. Korean Peninsula should be unified. I'm South Korean. The problem is that our neighboring countries, China, Japan, and Russia, they never support Korean Peninsula to be unified. They never want Korean Peninsula integrated. It means we cannot solve our problems between only South Korea and North Korea independently. And these are other deep-seated problems in Asia, such as territorial conflict and history war between Korea and Japan, and China and Japan, and Japan and Russia. Most of these conflicts in this region come from colonization history by Japan. Let's move to the map of Central Asia and Kazakhstan. In this region, there are potential conflicts such as territorial, ethnic, and religious, and conflicts with water resources. In Soviet era, all infrastructures had been shared. But after getting independence of republics, they couldn't share this kind of infrastructures. So all these conflicts come from the Soviet legacy. Okay, let's see the other problem in the world. Oh, this is Pacific Ocean. Do you have any idea what the yellow spots are on the seawater? They are trash lands. Trash are occupying in whole oceans. Where do trashes come from? From continent. Sea is polluted means continent is polluted. Earth's pollution range is growing with air pollution, water pollutions, and land pollutions. It seems to us there is no exit. Yeah, if we look at more closely, it's like this. Okay, let's go next topic. It is about AI. Have you heard Kensho? You may know AlphaGo and Sophia. They are most popular AI now. AI industry is growing at a tremendous speed. Without exception, most companies well known in the world are interested in AI business. Kensho is AI employee in Goldman Sachs in USA. Goldman Sachs was investment company, but it turned into the AI company. Recently, I've heard one story. There is a richest man, Son Jung-hee, in Japan. He is a pro at investment in the world. He is a Korean Japanese. like Yoji Sato, the chairman of One Asia Foundation, President Moon of South Korea wanted to get advice. He met the Son Jung-hee. President wanted to know what the most prospective industry will be. Son Jung-hee said to him was that, Mr. President, first industry you should foster is AI industry. Second one is AI. Third one you foster is AI. Now AI industry is like black hole over all industries. Okay, let's return to the Kensho story. Before Kensho entered in Goldman Sachs, there were 600 genius brains. Since Kensho entered into this company, all 600 employees were fired. Why? 600 brains could not compete with one monster AI. But this Kensho never eat, Kensho never sleep, Kensho never talk with friends, Kensho never go to the bathroom. He works for 20 hours. Also, in hospital there is AI doctor like Watson. It's getting popular. Yet not always, but AI doctor is considered more trustable than human doctor in some diagnosis and treatments. And also there are monks, AI monks in Japan, AI lawyer, AI composers, AI writers. AI is occupying in our daily lives so deeply. Let's see the destiny of human species. There are several predictions about human destiny that make us so sad by scientists. No scientists agree on that human history can continue for more 250,000 years from now. In broad sense, human history went on 250,000 years. Edward Wilson, he is a sociobiologist in Harvard University, he said that human will be extincted by 2400. And there are many other reports from the authorized journals. One of them said that within 2 generations, one generation is considered as 30 years, so within 60 years, 75% of animal will be gone. In this 75%, the human will be included or not, we don't know. On this planet, historically, there have been 5 mass extinction of animals. Mass extinction means most of animals were gone. Dinosaur disappeared in the last 5th mass extinction. As I said before, these disasters come from natural disasters such as supervolcano, earthquake, asteroid impact, and so on. Now we are in the 6th mass extinction of animal. There is 10 scenarios from the Oxford University Institute of Future and Humanity. In this picture, from 10 to 6 disasters are from natural disaster, but 7 disasters are alien-made. It is alien, invasions. The 10th one is black hole. The black holes are moving around in the cosmos. And the 9th one is asteroid impact. The 8th one is volcano, alien invasions, and 6th one is bacteria or virus. It diseases from natural, the environments. Okay, look at this fifth, the structures for the experiment in physics. It is called Larger Hadron Collider. This kind of experimental structures in advanced country, the biggest one is Swiss, is to accelerate the particles. Through this experiment, scientists can explore some secrets of cosmos in physics. The problem is that a black hole can be created while generating this device. Black hole swallow everything. There are still hot debates on this, among group of scientists. Let's read first. The globe is melting now from the global warming. It makes the climate change. You know well about this. Let's see, the third one is nuclear bomb. And second one is what? It's AI. Okay, what is first one? Bioengineering technology. We can see new kind of microbiorganism. It can be created by the bioengineering technology. In the world, there are many institutes and laboratories for bioengineering microbioorganism. Okay, let's see what Martin Lee said from his book. He's British astronomer. The final hour is coming soon. He said that the possibility of human extinction is currently 50%. And futurists and scientists said that we can meet more catastrophic. From now, we will see the more fatal scenarios such as AI and microbioorganism in more detail. There are three kinds of AI: narrow, general, and supers. Yet we are using the narrow scope of AI. It is programmed to perform only for simple tasks. However, we will meet soon strong AI, general and super. Have you heard the terminology singularity? This graph shows that as time goes, the intellectual power is getting stronger. Human intelligence cannot follow the growing speed of machine intelligence. Singularity is the point, the time, that total amount of all human intelligence and machine intelligence meet. After point of singularity, what will happen? We don't know. There is one of answers by Stephen Hawking. He gave a speech in 2019 at a conference in Lisbon. It was just before he died. He told attendees that development of AI might become worst event in the history of our civilizations. Here is another answer by brain scientist Kim Dae-sik. He said, I only want to live before the birth of strong AI. You may guess what it means. There is a strong AI. On strong AI, there is pessimists and optimists. Honestly speaking, there are more pessimistic than the optimists on AI. Optimists argue with theory of Moravec paradox. What is Moravec paradox? Is that things easy for human are difficult for AI. In reverse way, things easy for AI can be hard for human. It means human and AI can work together because it is complementary relationship between human and AI. A futurist in Google, Kurzweil, he support this idea, and Alexander Pentland in MIT also he supports this idea. They are saying AI will give us strong benefits. AI will be controlled. But by the pessimists, there are several scenarios assumed. If we look at how the small insect animals are being treated by human. When we walk on the street, we don't care about there could be ants or other insect on the street. We just step on. Like this, human could be treated by strong AI. We may be lucky if we can play a role as a slave for AI. Or we can be fuel for AI because AI is a machine. AI needs energy. Okay, look at here is the many kinds of AI company, AI doctors that contribute to much to our human society. AI company Blue Dot, it predicted with big data where a virus was going to spread. It has been used practically when outbreak of Ebola virus and Zika virus. Also, there is a robot doctor for coronavirus in USA. It was designed to prevent from direct contact with infected people. If we see the problems that will happen in the near future with this strong AI, there could be privileged group who has exclusively benefits. Ordinary people could be marginalized from these benefits. Another thing is it can be used for surveillance, control, or for military purposes. For example, smart glasses with 5G technology has been used since 2018 in China. Security guard with these glasses can read you, can get your personal information. Even experiment is going on to catch, the emotional people. When you are asked to say something, they can catch whether you are lying or not. It seems horrible when it's used for, surveillance. Still, many issues remain to be solved with this strong AI. Let's see the catastrophic pandemic disease. Historically, we had many kinds of catastrophic pandemic disease in the world, but these pandemic diseases were from the natural environment. Now we are facing, the maybe possibly engineered virus. I would like to see some aspect of response against the coronavirus. This COVID-2019, it is a scientific name for Wuhan coronavirus, is a kind of unpredictable virus. Notable things are that gene is quickly mutated and evolved. There's no vaccine, there's no medicine, even no kits for exact diagnosis that guarantee 100%. It only gives 50% of accuracy in diagnosis. Government, seems to fail to take action in early stage of outbreak of coronavirus. Political leaders in some country used to respond for this situation in political logic. For example, South Korea failed to respond in a proper way. This made, uncontrollable situations in Korea. To cope with this disease, it should be approached, with knowledge of science, scientific and medical science. What I was so scared was that when I watched news from China, many people were arrested just because they told the truth through the SNS. People were screaming, people were hunted by police on the street. House doors were forcefully closed from outside. They should stay in isolated room without medical personnel. Where is human rights? Outbreak and spreading out of coronavirus are leading to racist violence also. For instance, if there is a person who looks Asian without asking, people just attack. It happened in Europe. I saw it happened in Italy. Some scientific reports said that this coronavirus is suspicious. There is bioengineered. If it is true, humans seems to be self-destructive being. Let's see who we are. Biologically, genetically, we only programmed beings with gene. Evolutionarily, we are creatures that focus on survival and productions. So in this regard, we can say we have selfish gene. We are selfish being. Another aspect of a human is that our body is primitive body. It means modern sapiens still have a body that have been adopted for a long time, in Stone Age. Because human species spend most of the time, 99% of time in Stone Age. Modern sapiens with this body now are living in dramatically changed environments. For survival, our ancient, were struggling with stick. Now we have a nuclear weapon and bioengineered virus. We can imagine for modern, civilization situations like this. There is a child holding with nuclear weapons. how to play with this, it depends on this child. This child is who? Homo sapiens, modern sapiens is this child. If we see the humans in other perspectives, according to scientists, our body function and sense organs are not quite reliable. The language made human powerful. However, there's a strong limit of expression with language. According to Wittgenstein, we only can express 10% of what we see. It means while communicating each other, there could be much misunderstanding. What we see, what we smell, what we touch are not always right. Also, we are beings who have desire. This human desire is not always controlled. We have experienced it. And how much do you believe your brain? According to brain scientists, our brains are nothing more than a justifying machine. Whenever we judge something, we use predominantly occupied experience and memory in our brain. In this regard, brain system is not reliable always. How about memory capacity? There is a strong limit of brain's memory. Let's see what's problem in human thinking. There are two kinds of human thinking, fast and slow. Evolutionarily, we have been adapted into fast thinking. When we try to think slow, it means we think more effortfully, consciously, and deliberately. For thinking slow, we need to consume more energy, but it will make us have less misjudgment, illusion, mindlessness. One of the reasons why you study in university, why you entered this university, why are you sitting in this class, is to think slow, is to make far away from habit of quick thinking. Let's move to another. Discrimination happens in every society just because I have different nationality, just because I have a different religion, just because I have different ideology, I can be discriminated. Discriminated people get anger, frustrated, and it aggravates into violence. In case of Yoshisato, he experienced discriminations since childhood in Japan. He is Korean Japanese. Due to the colonization history, from his grandparents started to live in Japan. At the times, many Koreans lived there. This experience was a motivation for him to establish One Asia Foundations. During his lectures, he always emphasized that we need to be beyond the wars, such as war between people, war between ethnic groups. All these wars are human-made. Okay, let's see about the human cooperation system. How to activate human cooperations. According to Martin Nowak, we are super cooperator. Do you believe that? He found many evidence that 3 billion years ago, single cells were fed for other multicellular lives. If we look at now bees and ants, labor bees, ants are always ready to be sacrificed for reproduction of kin bees and ants. Here is 5 mechanisms for evolution of cooperations of human. There is a direct reciprocity, kin selection, group selection, spatial selection, and indirect reciprocity. This direct reciprocity, kin selection, group selection, spatial selection, it is for cooperation system works frequently in human society. However, indirect reciprocity is a higher level of human cooperations. It doesn't work always in human society. How does indirect reciprocity work? It is that I help you because I trust you will help me when I need somebody's help. If we have only angel-like natures, indirect reciprocity in human society will work always. There will not be a problem. But some philosophers taught us we have Abby-like nature originally. Other group of philosophers said that humans fundamentally have an angel-like nature. Now, in science, the dominant assumption that we have both nature is recognized. However, generally, we have believed more we are selfish because we have been taught much in this way we are selfish. But scientifically, that's not true. We have both natures. Scientists conducted experiments of 2 games to know principle of cooperation. One is community games, the other one is Wall Street games. The difference between these two games is different rule. In the community game, when participant helps others, the participant wins. In the Wall Street games, the game rule was designed in the way that when participant doesn't help others, he or she wins. A result of this game showed whether we behave cooperatively or not depends on in what kind of social rule we have. So we can say social system, social structures well designed is very important factor to lead into human cooperation. Another fact that affect human cooperation is what kind of mindset you have. If we notice the fact that all things are connected, the world will look more differently. Here is many stories: H2O, air, O2, and iron. Let's look at story of air. Without air, we can't be alive. Without air, we cannot communicate each other. Air transmits sounds. Transmission mechanism is that when I make sound, The sound vibrates air, vibrated air touch your eardrum, and then you can catch what I'm saying. We know there is air, but we don't notice always around us. Air exists. Let's see the story of iron. Our body contains some amount of iron. Without enough amount of iron, you get anemia. Where does iron come from originally? Scientists proved that only when gigantic stars in the cosmos explode, at the time iron is created. Without this process in cosmos, iron doesn't exist. Those ions exist in our body in the form of red cell. Okay, please look at the theory of structure of on life by physicist Jang Hae-ik. On life, on is Korean word, it means whole. This theory shows all things in the cosmos exist in a one unit of life. Let me ask you, for breakfast or lunch, what did you have? You might have some bread, vegetables, or meat. Bread comes from where? From plant wheat. How does it grow in the field? Wheat gets some nutrient from the ground and then get energy from the sun. Plants, animals, and all other things on this planet survive with the sun energy. So in this regard, we are totally dependent on these plants, animals. That is called in these pictures co-life. This co-life is dependent on sun. That is called on life. As a self-sufficient unit of life, we can extend unit of life. For example, sun survives in the system of cosmos structure. Therefore, we can say all things belong to one big life system in the cosmic world. I love so much this point because it shows we are totally interconnected beings. Here a new world interbeings created by Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh. Could you read this poem? If you're a poet, you will see clearly that there is a cloud floating in this sheet of paper. Without a cloud, there will be no rain. Without rain, the trees cannot grow. And without trees, we cannot make paper. The cloud is essential for the paper to exist. If the cloud is not here, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. So we can say that cloud and the paper are. Have you been touched by this poem? In the regard of related of all lives, there is no independent self. We cannot say it is all mine, it's all me. That's not true. That's an illusion. Let me skip this slide. This one is the last slide to show you. French philosopher Tocqueville said that those who only know one country no country. You may guess what it means. It means we cannot understand the world if we see it as a disconnected one by some barriers. Okay, I can say each of you is so special, but at the same time we are the one. There's a philosopher, René Descartes. He said that I think, therefore I am. You know what it means. If I summarize this message of today's lectures into one sentence, I can say, I am connected, therefore I am. Thank you for your attention and good luck, everybody.